So what kind of people do you think would go on a ship like this?
Yeah.
All right. Well, how about people running from the law? All right. People that deserted other ships and thought they would get a better deal aboard this ship. And lots of times the deserters did it on purpose. One of the kinds of people that they would get were farm boys. Sons of a farmer
Who didn't know any better?
who did all they knew is they don't want any part of farming. That has got to be the worst job in the world.
Until they got
Right
on
out of the frying pan into the fire. So they would desert. And some of them just wanted to explore the world. So they'd get on a ship, sign on a ship, and then desert in the port, and then they'd catch another ship that went someplace else. So they sight saw the world.
There was a lot of turnover in those days.
And a lot of escaped slaves.
Yeah.
All right, and people that were being persecuted because of their religion, so on and on and on. It really wasn't the top notch of society that signed on these things as crew. The officers, different story. So there was a lot of desertion and all that. And of course, with a crew like that, a mutiny was always a big possibility.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Therefore, this ship is built in 3 sections. There's one section that ends right about here someplace, okay? And there's a third section that starts right back after where you come up. Where you come up and out, to the left of that is the crew's quarters. And you'll see, both places, there are now these walls, these bulkheads were completely across the ship. You couldn't cross them. You had to come up on deck to get from one to the other, all right? So what we've done is we cut a funny looking opening. So as you go from officers' quarters into the work area, the blubber room or whatever they want to call it, and then again as you go into the crew's quarters, you'll see these funny looking openings as you go through the walls. They were not there. So therefore, if the crew had bad ideas and thought they were going to mutiny, they had to come up on deck and come back this way, which gave the officers a very easy way to defend. They didn't have to worry about them coming from up below.
So, even had swordplay on it. Yeah.
And so,
What a rough life.
It was.
and so on average, how many people were on the boat?
40.
40. The boat went out for about 40 months. There were about 40 men on board.
Here's the steering wheel.
And they caught at least 40 whales in order to come back. They could not come back until the hold was full of oil.
And that's the one for the rudder.
How long they were out.
Amazing.
How lucky they were getting whales. They were really unlucky like that.
I guess here's the kitchen. The pots and pans. The stove. What a small little kitchen. Oh my.
There is a picture in right there, voyaging in the white building. You see that exhibit? See the white building, the white portico there? In that. Highly recommend it. And so what they did was, in going out to get these whales, what was your question?
After several years of doing this, didn't they know where
They
whales
did.
are plentiful?
But whales moved. They moved where food was.
Yeah, they migrate.
They migrate all over the place, all over the world. This thing has been around the world several times, probably. So if you go in there, they'll show you, there's a picture, there's a whole lot of good things in that exhibit. But there's a photograph, about 8.5 by 11, and it shows a picture of about 30 of these things stuck in ice in Antarctica. Where they were chasing whales because that's where the whales were.
Right, yeah.
Well, there's a pretty good chance that half of those ships never got out of the ice. They just simply got crushed.
Crushed, yeah, yeah.
So it was a terrible, terrible life.
Yes, it was. Oh my goodness. Yeah. And so, then back then, what?
This is not the whole mast. It's only a third of the whole mast.
How do you, steer the ship?
There's 3 of them on
What
here.
they had was a compass, and they had